Hi, I'm Russell Peck, Custom Windows, Director of Product Services.
And I'm Jay Lathrop, Supervisor of Product Services here at Custom Windows and Doors. Today we're going to show you how to assemble and install your 8750 French door and give you some tips and ideas on a successful installation on your job site.
We want to point out some of the features in the door that we put in to make the installation go smoother. The machine screws that go in the hinges are already pre-tapped and installed in your frame when you receive it. The weather stripping's already installed. Your top and bottom keepers are in the doors already and preset.
We've also attached all of your trim pieces, your handles, and accessories in one package to the frame and ready to go. Before you start with installation, we highly recommend that you measure everything for order accuracy, making sure that what you ordered is what you've received. Also, to make sure that all your parts and pieces are present. So go ahead and open everything up, spread everything out, make sure you have everything that you need, to include also obviously checking the opening and preparing the opening properly. We ask that if you find a problem with a product, that you first call Product Services Department before going any further. Don't ever install a defective product. Now that we've unpackaged everything, we've measured the product, we've measured our opening to make sure everything's going to fit, we've prepared the opening, taking out any type of inconsistencies, make sure the opening is as plumb level and square as we can get it. We've gone ahead and installed the main frame of the door. We've made it plumb level and square, caulked it and screwed it off according to the installation details that you find on the Florida Product Approval website, and recommend that you download those, print those up, have them on hand to guide you through the installation. Now we're ready to start assembling the door by installing our slabs and our trim pieces and making final adjustments.
The reason for the support for the slabs are the panels are impact panels and they're very heavy, so we need to support it without tearing the gasket up on the bottom of the doors, and to line the machine screws up in the main frame.
This will make it a lot easier to support the door in the proper place. We just want to set it up to have it at the correct height of the threshold and make it easier for you to get it installed. As you can see, we've got the door set on the block, on the shim. It's lined up at the correct height with the frame, and we're getting ready to put in the first machine screws. Each hinge is going to accept 4 screws, 2 machine screws that are provided with the product, and then 4 structural screws that go into your structural opening. Depending on what type of opening you're going into will dictate the type of screws, and again, the installation detail clearly shows what the appropriate fastener is. Start off though by putting in the 2 machine screws in each hinge just to hold the door into the frame. Now you see Russell has all the machine screws holding the slab to the frame, and we're going to go ahead and install the structural screws into the structural support. It's very important to remember that the machine screws, which are pre-tapped for the hinges, go into the inner holes. They came into the frame that way, put them back into the same holes, and then the structural screws go into the outer holes on your hinge. You don't want to mix those up.
What we're going to do now is install the lock hardware. We've unpackaged everything, laid it out, make sure all the pieces are there, everything's correct. Now we're going to install.
Russell's putting on the escutcheon plates for the handles in your door slabs. However, when you receive your door slabs from the plant, they're going to come pre-attached already or pre-assembled to the slabs. All you'll really have to install is the spindle and the handle and the lever sets. If you need to make adjustments to the escutcheon plates, we strongly recommend that you use a hand screwdriver. These are fine thread machine screws, can be easily stripped. Plus, if you over torque the heads at final install, you don't want to see a stripped screw head at the finish. This is how your slab should come when you unpackage it and install it into your main frame of the door. So now take your lever set out of the box and find your bushing that's in the box as well and install that onto the lever set. Then take your spindle You'll notice that it has an indentation on one side. That's going to line up with your set screw. Go ahead and insert that and tighten it with your Allen key that's included in the kit. Now we've got the spindle installed into the lever set and we've snugged up our Allen screw. It's okay to leave a little bit of play in there until we get it completely assembled, and then we can snug everything up in the proper location. Again, we installed the bushing, but make sure that the outer lip of the bushing is against the lever set so it slides into the escutcheon plate on the handle. And we're just going to go ahead and install it. Make sure you have your bushing in the correct location on the interior lever. Go ahead and install that on the spindle. Snug it up, turn the handle, and just snug that with your Allen key. And then the same for the outside, for the exterior handle, once you've got it all pushed in. Now we're ready to engage the Euro Groove or multi-point hardware. I engage that by picking up on the lever, engaging the hooks, and then simply turning the thumb turn a quarter turn to lock it. That's all there is to it. Okay, we're looking at the inactive panel right now, and we just want to demonstrate or show that this also has a locking mechanism. When you lift up on the handle from the interior or the exterior, it's going to drop a bolt into the frame, top and bottom. We also have secondary bolts or chute bolts that will also engage the inactive panel into the frame as a backup. Go ahead and close the door, engage the chute bolts by lifting up on the handle to lock the panel into the main frame. Go ahead and close your active panel and engage the lock as well. Now we're ready to make final adjustments. Take a look around your panels, around the perimeter of each panel, and make sure your reveals are even. If they're not even, these hinges are fully adjustable. Now that we have everything installed into the mainframe, you've got your active and inactive handle sets installed, we're ready to make any adjustments to the hinges. These hinges come fully adjustable, and we just want to point out that the top and bottom hinge will actually move your panel in the frame either in, out, or you can turn it on the vertical axis. Your inner hinges, whether you have 2 or 3 on a taller door, will actually move the panel up or down. We want to first go ahead and remove the dust cap. There's a dust cap at the bottom of the hinge barrel, and just simply take a flat bladed screwdriver or a pick, get up underneath there, and carefully pop that out. Use your 3/16" Allen wrench to insert it into the hinge barrel. Russell's going to take the weight off the panel, and we're going to adjust the hinge. Clockwise, we'll adjust the panel up. Counterclockwise, we'll allow the panel to drop down. So make your adjustments, do small adjustments a little bit at a time until you get the right reveal in the door itself. Also keep in mind, whatever adjustment you make to one hinge, make to the other hinges as well, so not all the weight is hanging on that one hinge. So if I make this adjustment one full turn, I'm going to do the same to the remaining hinges on the door. If you find that you need to adjust the panel in your main frame, in or out, or rotate it, you simply do that at the top hinge and at the bottom hinge with your 3/16" Allen wrench by turning it counterclockwise or clockwise, and you'll get a full 1/8 of an inch of adjustment out of that. Now Russell's going to show us how to put in the interior trim pieces. The trim pieces cover up all the installation screw heads. We're going to go ahead and show that to you, but do recommend that you probably leave that off until after your final inspection, so you don't have to remove it to show your inspector. We start off by installing the head trim first, and then we're going to do the jambs, and then finally the threshold.
Use a rubber mallet when you're installing this. This is aluminum. You don't want to leave any ding marks from a metal hammer. Nice soft rubber mallet. Goes in nice and smooth.
You'll notice too that Russell's holding the trim to the top of the door. Any gap or in the trim will be covered by the threshold at the bottom. Now that all your trim is installed, everything is complete, we're ready to close and secure the door and check for any final adjustments that need to be made. Now we've got the door secured, locked, both thumb turns are engaged. Just take a look around the perimeter of the door, make sure you're happy with your reveals, that there are no further final adjustments need to be made, either in the trim, in the hinges, or anything like that. And after that, we're all done. Again, as we install the escutcheon plates, we recommend that you use a hand screwdriver, not a drill, to install the machine screws. Now that we have the escutcheon plate installed, we're ready to install the lever set. Again, we want to use the bushing onto the lever, install the spindle with the groove side against the set screw, and then just snug that set screw up. Not too tight, because you may have to adjust it once you get it installed in the door. Let it have a little bit of play, and then insert it into the escutcheon plate. Now you can open the door. Now we have the door completely installed. We've got our handle installed. We've checked the lock, make sure that it's operating properly. We can make any necessary adjustments to the hinges from the exterior, as we showed you with the 8750 French door. After you've done that and you're satisfied with the way it operates, we'll go ahead and install the trim and the head, the jamb, and the threshold, and the installation's complete. Now, one of the nice features about the 8700 system is you can get it in several different configurations. Here we're showing a single swing door with 2 side lights, and we're going to show you how to install those side lights. But keep in mind, you can order the product as a French door with 2 side lights, with 1 side light, and mix and match any combination that you like. The single door will come, as we just showed you, pre-hung, ready to install. The side lights will come separate with the pre-built frame, and we'll show you how to insert the side light. You want to mate your side lights to your main frame prior to installing it in the hole, and you'll mate it through your hinge points, your outer hinge holes, with machine screws that will be provided and pre-tapped, so they just go right together.
When you receive your side light and you go to put it together, you line the side light up with the machine screws on the pre-hung door. The outer screws line up and they're pre-tapped through into the side light, which lines you up flush at the top and the bottom. We also have mounting holes with self-tapping screws provided to mate them together. They're 5/16 by 1 inch self-tapper.
Now that we have the main frame installed, we've got the side lights attached, everything's plumb level and square in the opening, we're ready to install the side light panel. Once you have the side light set into the frame, you just need to go to the inside and fasten it through the flange. You'll notice there's a score line around the flange. You want to hit your self-tapping screw on that line and put in an adequate number of fasteners, 4 on each side, 1 top and bottom minimum. And you notice Russell's drawing it in against the weather stripping to create a nice weather-tight seal. Once you have your fasteners all applied, you're ready to do trim. Again, we recommend that you leave your final trim off until after final inspection. Your trim's going to come pre-cut, ready to install on the side light. You're going to install the head first. Pop that in. Give it a light tap. After the head, we'll put in the sill. Just simply pop that in, and then we put on our jams. And we're complete. Next product that we want to go over as far as assembly and installation is our 8940. We refer to it as the Infinity Track system. It's an all PVC frame with a PVC panel, and you can actually add a track to as many panels or as wide as you want to make a door. The door that we're going to show you right now is a 4-panel pocket door that has the Infinity Track system to it. When you receive your packaging or receive your door, you'll have panels wrapped up individually, and then you'll receive a track package with all your parts and pieces. One of the things that we want to point out first is that in the packaging are 2 toting handles for your panels. If you're installing this as an impact door, those panels can be a couple hundred pounds or more, and we will make sure you handle them properly. So we provide you with some handles to tote the panels around. Take those off your packaging first so you can move your panels around and get them set up. Next, we're going to show the assembly of the outer frame with the neoprene pad, how to properly put that together, how to caulk it, and the proper shim to use. When you're ready to install your main frame, first run 2 continuous beads of 3/16" caulking around the perimeter of the frame and set your frame in the opening. Also take note on the installation details on the Florida Product Approval website that you're required to use structural shims as opposed to wood shims. Anything greater than a 1/16" space needs to be shimmed, and you can shim up to an allowable of a 1/4" space. So we've assembled the outer frame. We've determined that the opening is plumb square and ready for the product. The product's the correct size. Everything is as we ordered it. We've looked over the product.